The moral dilemma of Shankyu movies first. Let me define what is moral dilemma. A moral dilemma from Oxford Dictionary is a situation in which a difficult choice has to be made between two courses of action, either of which entails transgressing a moral principle. In the film Shankyu movie, the faces a tragedy when their son is found to be diagnosed with critical heart issues. However, the board of hospital directors refused to assist Chan-kyu's son for a heart transplant and put his son's name on the list to request for donors. The hospital directors focused first on their profit instead of giving them or offered them a help for a young child who is in the age of losing his life. In this situation, it influenced Chan's decision making, which appears to have had the strongest impact. The movie emphasizes the desire of being a father and what a father can really do in these difficult times and situations. Chan is determined to keep the promises he made to both his wife and his son. Therefore, in order to fulfill his promise to save his son's life, he put the law on his hands. He decides to take the hospital staffs and patients as hostages until the hospital puts his son's name on the list. After he finds out that the health insurance will not cover for the heart transplant operation, some of the hostages have sympathy for Chan's situation and understand why Chan did an unlawful way. In this movie, Chan-kyu's actions are the necessary effort needed not only save his son's life but also expose the injustice of his country health system. Although John's actions may be considered evil, some would actually consider it evil for him to have done nothing and allow his son to die. Because in reality, sometimes we have to do unfavorable things in order to achieve a favorable. However, we should look the consequences of an action in relation to particular rules of conduct and consider how an action can affect the overall rules of society. Therefore, the two courses of action that Chan has made are positive and negative factors based on the decisions and actions he made. The positive factor would be saving his son's life. The negative factors would be in jail or being killed in the process. Jan is responsible father and a good husband to his wife, as they are both Christian, and even his wife, Denise, called herself as Christian woman. And being Christian, Jan is aware that his actions is against the law of God. It's just that he chose to be necessary evil as something that is unpleasant or undesirable but is needed to achieve a result, considering that he is willing to sacrifice his own life in order to save his son's life.